For years in Hollywood, buddy comedies have been a dime a dozen. They're often there more to showcase the talents of the cast rather than give you an intricate storyline that you can connect with and actually care about. But they're often entertaining. This one takes two of the biggest names in Hollywood, one in comedy, one in action, and you get Central Intelligence, so it has to be good, right?
You're Bob Stone, international CIA spy.
I made that name up.
You think Mr. T and Sting and The Rock, you think those guys are real? That's a bunch of dumbass nicknames by a bunch of dumbass people.
Central Intelligence stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart. Basically, the story follows their two characters. You have Hart's character in high school. He was the class president, had the beautiful girl, all the friends, voted most likely to succeed. On the other end of that spectrum, you had Johnson's character. He didn't have a lot of friends. He wasn't popular. He was overweight, so he got picked on and he was bullied a lot. Fast forward 20 years later, Johnson's character is a hulking CIA agent, and Hart's character is basically the same guy he was in high school, only this time he's working a dead-end job that he's not really happy with. And one night these two guys meet up, they reconnect, they have a couple drinks, and before you know it, Johnson's character, as politely as possible, shoehorns his way into Hart's life, and before Hart's character realizes it, he's in the middle of a CIA operation, unable to tell if Johnson's character is telling him the truth or if he really is a rogue CIA agent. Now, I didn't have the highest of expectations for this movie. I didn't think it was going to give me a very intricate plot. I didn't think the storyline was going to be extremely cohesive, but like many of these action comedy, buddy comedy films, I went into it expecting a live-action stand-up comedy routine, and for the most part, that's pretty much exactly what this movie delivers. Easily the best thing about this movie was the chemistry between Johnson and Hart. They had a great comical balance between each other. They played extremely well off one another, and it was just fun to sit back and watch these guys because you could tell they were having fun. I was worried going into this one that a lot of the funny stuff in this movie had already been shown in the trailers and promos, but it was a nice surprise to see that there was a good amount of chuckle-worthy material from start to finish littered throughout this movie, but the problem was there was really only a handful of laugh-out-loud moments. And honestly, I was a little disappointed with the personality and persona they gave Johnson's character. I guess I could kind of see where they were trying to go with it, trying to show the effects of childhood bullying on an adult life, but it didn't really fit this movie at all. And after a while, when you realize that Johnson's aw shucks demeanor and childlike behavior isn't just a front that he's putting on to get close to Kevin Hart's character, it becomes rather annoying and becomes rather ineffective and rather repetitive at times. And there was moments in this one where he kind of just reminded me of a more handsome, politically correct version of Sloth. And this film does go through all the genre tropes. It's got all your sight gags, your physical humor, your cheap humor, your kind of easily set up lines back and forth. And for about the first hour and a half, it does work for a while. But then after that, it starts to really slow down. It gets kind of boring at times. And in the end, the 2-hour runtime is just extremely too long. They could have whacked about 25 or 30 minutes off of this, and it would have been a much more fast-paced, swift, entertaining movie. The story littered itself all over the place, and it tries to get kind of serious when it doesn't really need to. It should have just went hard comedy and went for it. Basically everything in this movie happens to kind of set Johnson and Hart's character up for some comical scenarios, and a lot of those do laugh, but after a while it just gets kind of boring, it gets kind of redundant, and without a story that's got any kind of intrigue to it, everything is extremely predictable. You don't really care, and by the end of it you're just kind of worn out and ready for it to be done. And in the end, Central Intelligence definitely had its moments. It was certainly amusing, but it just wasn't hilarious. If you're a fan of Johnson or Hart, you'll definitely find some enjoyment in this one, but I'm going to have to give it a really strong C+. With the chemistry between Johnson and Hart, this could have been a much more entertaining film. Hart was very good in a more toned-down role, and it was kind of a surprise to see a lot of the comedic weight go onto Johnson's shoulders, and for the most part he delivered, but the writing really didn't do him a lot of favors with the creation of his character. And surprisingly enough, the action sequences, much like the storyline, were rather unambitious. They did nothing to really pull you up into the film or connect with you at all, and overall, the chemistry that was developed between Johnson and Hart just didn't reach its full potential with this movie. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this review of Central Intelligence. Have you seen the movie yet this weekend? If you did, let me know what you liked or disliked about it in the comments below. As always, if you'd like to check out some other reviews, you can go ahead and click the links here. And if you like videos like this and you'd like to see more, don't forget to subscribe. As always, I'm Anthony. This is the SilverScreen Analysis, and I'll see you at the movies.